Good morning, everybody. My dear students, I welcome you all to the online classes of Sharon Persuasion Residential Public School. My dear students, so far your syllabus is concerned, we have 6 chapters in chemistry, synthetic fibers and plastics, coal and petroleum, combustion and flame, chemical effects of electric current, metals and non-metals, pollution of air and water. Out of 6 chapters, one is dropped, that is metals and non-metals. In view of the COVID-19 lapse, and as you will be studying that chapter in your SSLC in detail, therefore that chapter is dropped there. So we have 5 chapters with us: synthetic fibers and plastics, coal and petroleum, combustion and flame, chemical effects of electric current, pollution of air and water. So out of 5 chapters, we have already discussed 4 chapters. Synthetic fibers and plastics is over, coal and petroleum is over, combustion and flame is over, chemical effects of electric current is over. Now, almost this is the last chapter to be finished, to be discussed, right? That is pollution of air and water. So with this, we complete our syllabus of chemistry, and almost as and when the time was available for us, we completed revising all the 4 chapters previously discussed. So now the only one chapter, that is pollution of air and water, that has to be discussed. I think we would be able to complete it by the end of this week, and we will revise the portion, right? So this is a kind of a reminder for you that what all has been done, right? So today we shall take up the discussion of pollution of air and water. This is almost chapter number, in fact 6 it is, but dropping metals and non-metals, this is going to be number 5. So chapter 5, this is pollution of air and water. Pollution of air and water. Pollution of air and water. Dear students, pollution of air and water. So we have so many things to discuss in this chapter, pollution of air and water, which is a very common problem with us, and everybody is facing the problem of pollution of air and water in our day-to-day life. So what is this problem? How is this problem caused? And what are the remedies? So we shall discuss in detail. So first we discuss pollution of air pollution. What is air pollution? And what are the causes of air pollution? And which are the pollutants of air? And how can we overcome air pollution? These are the points to be discussed in the air pollution. See, what is air pollution? Air pollution is defined as the presence of pollutants in the atmosphere that have a very harmful effects on human health as well as the other living organisms, and even the things also. Once again, air pollution is defined as the presence of pollutants in the atmosphere, in the air, that have a very harmful effects upon the other living organisms and even non-living things. See, we have vehicles, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, bikes, heavy vehicles and all. And they run on petrol, diesel and all. We know it already. So they produce the harmful gases like carbon monoxide, which is let into the atmosphere, and certainly it causes air pollution. My dear students, the industries which let sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and all such gases are emitted to the atmosphere, which certainly pollute air, and that has in turn a very severe impact upon human beings. We breathe in such a toxic gas, and we have some health issues, health problems pertaining to lungs. And when such a gas is released to the atmosphere, whose impressions, whose impact upon the buildings, monuments, like for example Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is one of the most beautiful monuments of India, which is built up in the white tiles. So when the gas is deposited upon the building, the aristocratic look, that's what we say, the brightness of the building is becoming dull. It is becoming dull because of the deposition of the emissions. This is how non-living things are also affected. Therefore, I am saying air pollution is defined as the presence of pollutants in the atmosphere or in the air that have a very harmful effect upon living beings as well as the other organisms and even the non-living things. This is what we say air pollution. Please write the definition of air pollution. So first point so far we have discussed is air pollution. Air pollution is the first point we have taken for the discussion. This is air pollution. This is air pollution. Right? Air pollution is defined as the presence of the presence of or in the atmosphere in the atmosphere or air that have very very harmful effects upon living things, living things, living things, as well as other living organisms, other living organisms, and even non-living things, non-living things, non-living things. See, air pollution. Air pollution is defined as the presence of pollutants, as the presence of pollutants in the atmosphere or air that have a very harmful effects upon living things as well as other living organisms, maybe on earth or in the sea, right? And even non-living things, I told you, right? So this is called as air pollution, right? So for example, for example, for example, see, for example, carbon monoxide, carbon monoxide, carbon monoxide. This is CO, right? Carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide. This is CO2, right? Nitrogen, nitrogen dioxide, right? Nitrogen dioxide, NO2, right? Sulfur dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur dioxide, SO2, right? Etc. See, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, CO2, nitrogen dioxide, NO2, and sulfur dioxide, SO2. These are the gases which pollute the air. These are the pollutants. These are the pollutants. What are pollutants? Pollutants are the substances that contaminate the air are called the pollutants of air. And those pollutants may be carbon monoxide CO, carbon dioxide CO2, nitrogen dioxide NO2, and sulfur dioxide SO2, etc. So these gases pollute the air, therefore they are called as pollutants of air, right? So this is all about the definition of air pollution, right? So now we shall take up the definition of water pollution. Next is water pollution. Next is water pollution. Right. Water pollution. Next is water pollution. Next is water pollution. Yeah. So next is water pollution. Next is water pollution, right? My dear students, what is water pollution? See, water pollution can be defined as the contamination of bodies of water with unwanted things, right? That also have a harmful effect upon living things as well as other living organisms and even non-living things also, non-living things. So that is water pollution. I mean contaminating water bodies with the pollutants like petroleum products, sewage and wastewater from the industries, wastes from mining of metals and non such wastes, those pollutants pollute the water, they contaminate the water, thereby becomes polluted, which will be unfit for drinking. Unfortunately, people unknowingly consume the same water for drinking. Therefore, they go ill, they feel ill, they suffer from various problems pertaining to water pollution. So, my dear students, you should try to learn the definition of water pollution. Water pollution is defined as the contamination of bodies of water with unwanted things in the water that have also a harmful effect upon living things and non-living things also, right? So this is what we say water pollution. Please write the definition. Water pollution, water pollution. Water pollution is defined as the contamination of the contamination of water bodies water bodies as a result of human activities as a result of human activities as a result of human activities that also that also have that also have a harmful effect upon living organisms living organisms as well as non-living non-living things as well as non-living things. For example, water gets polluted. Water gets polluted. Water gets polluted when when the petroleum products petroleum products petroleum products gets polluted when the petroleum products or sewage and wastewater 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 are let into water let into water. See, this is all about water pollution. Water pollution is defined as the contamination of water. Please underline. As the contamination of water bodies as a result of human activities that also have a harmful effect upon living organisms as well as non-living things. And which are the substances that contaminate water? Water gets polluted when the petroleum products or sewage and wastewater are let into water. My dear students, see, we have, you know it very well, the earth is made up of 3/4 of water and 1/4 of land. You may say that the earth is blended with 3/4 of water, sufficient water. Only 1/4 is land. There must be no scarcity of water at all. But, my dear students, only less than 1%, that is around 0.75% of water, which is less than 1% of water, is feasible for drinking. It is good for drinking. So drinking water on this earth is available less than 1%. Therefore, we must save water. We must secure water. So we have the drinking water upon this earth which is available less than 1%. You may ask me, sir, then what about 3/4 of the water? See, 97.5% of water is available. It is saline. 97.5% of water is available in the sea, which is saline. Maybe the hard efforts from scientists have been done in getting converted the saline water into drinking water. That is a part which has been in progress. But certainly, you know, we can't say when it will be done. So 97.5% of water is saline water, right? 2% of water is almost 2% of water is almost glaciers which protect us from the temperature which is being raised up. Dear students, one is connected to another. If glaciers melt, see, the gases released from the earth will let into atmosphere. The level of greenhouse will be increased. The level of greenhouse will be increased. As the level of greenhouse increases, greenhouse effect takes place, and greenhouse effect makes the global warming. And due to global warming, the glaciers melt. When the glaciers melt, there is a variation in the sea. If there is a variation in the sea, then there is a disturbance in our life. Or flood attacks, storms, earthquakes, and all these natural calamities that take place if the atmosphere is imbalanced. You see, this is the point to be discussed there. Therefore, we have to protect our climate, we have to protect our atmosphere. See that there should not be much pollution, right? So, this way, so what remains is 97.5% of seawater, saline water. 2.2% of water is glaciers. What remains? It is less than 1%, that is drinking water, clean water. Therefore, it's our duty of the whole mankind, of the whole human race, to take the precautionary measures to secure water, to save water, right? So this way, such a precious water is polluted. So water pollution is defined as the contamination of water bodies as a result of human activities that also have a harmful effect upon living organisms as well as non-living things. For example, water gets polluted when the petroleum products or sewage and wastewater are let into water. This is all about water pollution. Now we see pollutants of air and water in the upcoming point, right? Please take down. So next point, pollutants of air and water. Pollutants of air and water. Pollutants of air and pollutants of air and water. So next point is pollutants of air and water. So now we are discussing the third point. Pollutants of pollutants of air and water. Air and water. Right? See, then what are pollutants? Pollutants are the substances that contaminate air and water. Right? Pollutants are the substances that contaminate air and water. For example, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, nitrogen oxide. These are the, gases or the pollutants that pollute air. And I told you, sewage water, wastewater, like, and petroleum products emitted from the industries, they are the pollutants that contaminate water. So these are the pollutants of air and water. Is that? So the substances, the substances, the substances, the substances that contaminate, that contaminate, that contaminate air and water, air and water are called are called are called pollutants of air and water. Pollutants of air and water. Air and water. For example, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, nitrogen dioxide, right, etc. And and petroleum products, petroleum waste, sewage waste, sewage waste, etc. See, dear students, pollutants of air and water, the substances that contaminate air and water, the substances that contaminate air and water are called pollutants of air and water. For example, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur trioxide, nitrogen dioxide, etc. These are the toxic gases contaminate air. Therefore, they are called as pollutants of air. And I said, petroleum waste, sewage waste, wastewater, they contaminate water. Therefore, they are called as pollutants of water. Right? So, dear students, this is all about pollutants of air and water. Right? So, now we shall study causes of air pollution. Right? Next, we shall study causes of water pollution. Next, we study remedies for air pollution. Next, we study remedies for water pollution. Right? Okay. So now we shall take up the study of causes of air pollution. Causes of causes causes of air pollution. Causes of air pollution. Causes of air pollution. Causes of air pollution. So now we study causes of air pollution. 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 Dear students, what are the causes of air pollution? You see, unless the human takes up his activities, the air is not polluted. The air is not polluted. See, previously, before 50 years ago, before 100 years ago, there was a favorable atmosphere for mankind. There was raining time to time, and there were seasons occurred time to time. The variations in the seasons, we have variations in the climatic conditions. And why this is caused? Why this occur? Because of the air pollution, water pollution. Because of the because of the air pollution, over air pollution, the pollution beyond the control. Therefore, these variations take place. So we shall study the causes of air pollution. The very first one, emissions from the vehicles. crores of vehicles emit carbon monoxide. This is a toxic gas which certainly pollutes air. So the first cause is very clear: emissions from the vehicles, right? So the very first cause is emission from the emissions from the vehicles, right? So the second cause for air pollution is the emissions from the industries. See, the emissions from the vehicles, maybe we have only possibly see carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, something, right? But emissions from the industries, it contains very severe toxic gases like sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, right? Nitrogen dioxide. These are the toxic gases which are let into the air, which in turn may cause, what I say, rain, acid rain, which in turn it may cause acid rain, which later I'll discuss later, right? So emissions from the vehicles, now emissions from the industries, emissions from the industries, from the industries, emissions from the industries, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, right? See, number 3, dear students, we have garbage management. The garbage from our houses should be managed properly. If at all you make up your mind, even we produce the fuels out of the garbage, but we are not making up our minds. So garbage is being burned there. So when you burn the garbage, it produces severe carbon monoxide gas again, which is let into atmosphere unnecessarily, and it causes air pollution. So burning of garbage is one of the causes of air pollution. Burning of garbage, burning of garbage waste, right? Number 4. See, now, dear students, sometimes we say the microbial decaying of the chemicals. Nowadays, everywhere we have chemicals. When the chemicals start decaying, it causes microbial presence there. That also pollutes the air. So they see that the chemicals should be managed properly. Microbial decaying of chemicals. Microbial decaying of chemicals is also one of the causes of air pollution. Number 5. See, we have what we say, dear students, sometimes, from the industries, I told you already, the gases are released to the atmosphere, right? Sometimes what we do is, of course, burning of garbage waste is a domestic problem also, and as well as industrial problem also. We burn so many things. For example, burning of plastics. In fact, you know it already. Thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. See, thermoplastics can be recycled to the extent, but thermosetting plastics cannot be recycled. If thermosetting plastics are burned, they release very severe toxic gases like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, which mixes in the atmosphere. It can cause acid rain in turn. Therefore, I say burning of plastics. Burning of plastics. Burning of plastics. Burning of plastics is also one of the causes of air pollution. Right? So this way, dear students, these are the causes of air pollution. Right? So we shall take up the causes of water pollution next. Okay? So dear students, we shall take up the causes of water pollution in the next class. Till then, thank you everybody.